Kishida Rio was a powerful, eloquent, and award-winning playwright and theater maker. She loved cats, vampires, and red wine. She created strong, sexual, and sometimes dangerous female characters who were always the subjects of their own stories. She was devoted to powerful imagery, poetic language, and to women's bodies and voices. Kishida was the only woman writing plays in the Japanese angura, or avant-garde movement. She also ran her own theater troupe, or gekidan, from 1977 to the end of her career. And she died far too young at the age of 57. Now, angura is short for underground, which is underground. And it was a radical avant-garde artistic movement that started in the 1960s. There are still companies and artists working in this style and aesthetic today. And it combines artistic elements, it mixes pre-modern and contemporary, it links Japanese and non-Japanese images. Angura was and is performed in small basement theaters, hence the word underground, city streets, outdoor tents. It privileges the actor's body and performance over the text. It's crazy, intense, full throttle, total theater. And I think we could all use more of that personally. I met Kishida when I lived in Tokyo for many years. I saw a number of her plays, and I had the chance to participate in a workshop where she was working on a multilingual collaboration. We had a peer relationship, not one of researcher and the researched. I also got to know many of her remarkable troupe of actors. Some of these actors worked with her for decades. One of her main female actors, Hina Ryoko, there on the right, she began her career working with Kishida in 1977 and performed in the last play Kishida wrote and directed. Decades. Now, when Kishida died in 2003, many of her company of actors got together and organized a gathering where they presented readings of her plays to keep her memory and her work alive. And this gathering has been happening every year since and has morphed into an annual festival of her work called Rio Fest, or Rio Fest. Every summer, there are readings and productions of Kishida's plays and non-theatrical writings. Participants include longtime company members, other artists affiliated with the Angura movement, and new artists interested in Kishida's style and work. The audiences are also a mix. There are people that saw Kishida's work in the 70s and have been longtime fans, and people who are brand new to her work and ideas. Now, Rio Fest acts as a memorial to Kishida, but it also keeps her spirit of creation alive. These artists not only do the work, they rewrite, they reimagine, and they recreate her text, as she herself often did. They create new works based on her ideas and on conversations they had with her. So they're actually taking things that might have become plays and making them creations. Rio Fest is an embodied and living archive of Kishida Rio's theater praxis. And it's this embodied living archive that really interests me. And I'm actually getting to work with some of those artists to learn about her theater praxis, her writing, her theories, ideas, and her practice. I've attended, my images are getting perfected, I can see. I've attended Rio Fest for the past few years, and in 2017 I organized and participated in a bilingual reading of her unpublished play, 4 Letters, which I co-translated. 4 Letters is a physical play where the bodies of 4 women are each bound to a male doll. This summer, I'll be doing a staged version, working with 3 of the 4 original cast members. And I am incredibly honored and kind of terrified to play the 4th role. In 2019, I will return to Japan and perform in one of Kishida's plays with Unit R, R for Rio, which is a company run by Hina Ryoko and her husband, Suabe Hitoshi, another longtime actor and director in Kishida's company. Unit R's members include many artists who worked with Kishida. And I am hoping to learn how these artists communicate, how they work together, they did so for decades, and how they actually hold and transmit Kishida's praxis and pass it on to some of the newer actors. This hands-on research will become part of my dissertation. And other public activities include translations and staged readings of Kishida's work here in Canada. In February 2018, I staged a reading of her play, Love Part 1, with students at UBC. which is a picture of that here. They had a blast. So did I. Kishida was an important theater artist, and she deserves international recognition. She has been largely ignored by Western scholarship, like many women and non-Western artists. And it's through translation, publication, and production that I believe an artist's work has reach. And this is driving my research. She was left out of 2 major English language anthologies, and it made me so angry I took this up. Kishida was a mysterious and intense artist, and she was passionate about women's voices, the importance of language, and the agency of the artist in practice. Her equally amazing company of actors continue this work and hold her praxis in their memories, bodies, and voices. I'm working to understand this praxis and to be able to write about it and to use it in my work as a theater practitioner and an educator. In the last decade of Kishida's career, she did a great deal of transnational and intercultural work. And in one of her poems, she describes a reoccurring dream where people all over the world gather to have a deep conversation. The poem ends, "When words with words join in midair, the stars come together and glisten. I am waiting for that time. I am waiting, waiting, waiting." I too want that conversation across cultures and oceans, between bodies and voices. A conversation. Thank you.